Hey gamers, welcome back to a brand new DSP video. It's been a while since I've done a DSP video. I know, shocker, but I'm back. We're doing a video. There's two things I want to kind of go over. So hopefully, we will, hopefully. We're going to start talking about the Twitch nonsense. Now, I decided to skip ahead. We don't need to listen to his origin story as to how he lost his checkmark on Twitch and all this other shit. We get it. We get it, right? Correct? So let's just start from here.
Wrong, that is. You can't just do whatever you want because you put it into a terms somewhere, like because there's partner terms of service. Just because there's something in writing doesn't mean it's legal. All right? I can tell you right now, there is no business on this planet that can put you into a contract and then say,
how many contracts has DSP seen in his life,
without
by the way?
any justification?
Like,
that simply doesn't.
I'm just sure it's done, like, situational. Like, not all contracts are the same and all this other bullshit, but how many contracts has this dude seen in his life?
Exist. To terminate a legal contract or agreement, there has to be reasons. Justifiable legal reasons, okay? Which I believe is located in the state of California. So it has to abide by all the legal reasons of any.
Does he know the legal reasons in California? He keeps bringing this up, but how does he know they're infringing on California law? Is he a lawyer?
Anything in California, okay?
Okay.
I tell you right now, they're not. They haven't. This is why Dr. Disrespect, after he was actually banned from the site without...
Now, this is my favorite story. Listen to this.
Apparently real justification, as we know from his side of the story. He sued them, and they settled because they knew they were going to lose.
This dude, when he was talking about Dr. Disrespect and the whole thing with Twitch, was it earlier this year or last year? I want to say this year. Whatever. When he talked about it, he literally said, when his chat was saying, yeah, Phil, Dr. Disrespect won, man. And he fucking sat there in his little, like, piggy hide chair or whatever the fuck. You guys are stupid. You don't know what, settlements are. You guys are so dumb. You don't know anything. You don't know how the legal system works, right? You guys don't know anything, right? You guys are fucking dumb, right? And he told, and then he says that just because there was a settlement, it doesn't mean he won. And all this other shit, right? Correct? And then he sits here and tells us, well, they settled because Twitch knew they were gonna lose. But how does he know that Dr. Disrespect isn't the one that wanted the settlement? He was the one who accepted it, by the way, because if Dr. Disrespect knew he had a winning case, correct? Wouldn't he not want the settlement and then go to court and then prove his innocence or whatever the fuck instead of just taking the settlement because maybe he knew he would lose? You could say the same shit about him. And this dude is sitting there like, and this is a very opportunistic narrative. He will, if it's a story shitting on Dr. Disrespect, that is a, like, popular article that's everyone is spreading and everyone's agreeing with, blah, blah, blah. These people then say, yeah, Dr. Disrespect is a piece of shit, man. Fuck him. But then if the story is shitting on Twitch, yeah, you know, Dr. Disrespect, he was gonna win the court case, but Twitch settled. What a bunch of pussies. So it's like, you know, it's very dependent on the narrative he wants to spin and on his little stupid podcast. And this dude wants to be taken seriously. Get out of here.
All right. So if everyone were big time, like Dr. Disrespect, and had money, they could sue Twitch for this kind of shit, and Twitch would be
Now, I also hate when so one of his react videos, he was watching this video talking about this family was suing the landlord for this, but they either accepted a settlement or something, or they just didn't sue or whatever. It was something like that, some story like that. And he was like, why don't they sue? This is like, it would be an easy win for them and all this other shit. And he didn't really sound like he fucking cared enough to understand that maybe these people just want to live and they just want to go about their day and not deal with this in that kind of way. Because the other thing is, they, I'd assume, may have to live there, and if they sue the landlord, wouldn't that cause some awkward interactions moving forward? And you probably don't want to create that kind of relationship dynamic. at that point, but he didn't give a fuck. And he's like, yeah, man, you know, like, why don't they sue? And this and that. But when it says, no one gets sued Twitch, guys. We have to be rich for that. Like, why does he, like, this is a pet peeve, I guess, or whatever, but it's just a thing I've been noticing. That it's always like, I can't afford to sue. But when it's someone else and they have a chance to sue, why don't they sue? And it's like, dude, like, you tell us every day lawsuits aren't cheap, and it's not an easy process, and it's not a quick process either. Like, come on, man. And this dude is like giving us it's too expensive, man.
Bankrupt. They would have no fucking money. All right.
They'd have no money.
But this is just how they behave. They think that they can do whatever they want. They can selectively enforce their rules. And then when they enforce them, they don't even have to prove any wrongdoing. They just kick you off the site, remove your monetization, do whatever they want. It's a completely
Then why did they let you come back? I mean,
unprofessional.
they literally told him he could like reapply for affiliate, then he could probably go back into being a partner. But okay.
Professional place to work or do business. I can't imagine.
What if they were purging the partners?
With the incredible.
They were just like getting rid of the fluff. They're like, okay, these people are gonna have to like reapply. We gotta get them out of here.
Amount of horror stories that have come out of Twitch over
Horror
the years.
stories. This is so dramatic. Horror stories. They kicked me off the site. Like, sure, you could argue that sucks, but to call it horror stories is like I would assume that they worked inside Twitch and then like they were like harassed or some shit. Whatever.
Anyone would want to work there or stream there. Recently, Asmongold saying something on a stream. He gets suspended.
Do you know what he fucking said though, dude? This dude is sitting there like, yo, even he got kicked off. Do you know what he said? This dude is like saying this like as if Asmongold did nothing wrong. He said like a very racially charged fucking statement. That's fucked up. And this is like, he said stuff and they banned him. Do you know what he said? At least know what he said before you even address it. I saw what he said and I thought it was fucking like awful. And he should have been banned for that statement. And this dude is like, do you know why he got banned? He said something. What did he say? Oh my god.
Now he's gone off on them saying he doesn't want to stream there anymore, right?
I thought he went back to Twitch because after the ban, he was like, oh, I'm going to change my content and be whatever the fuck. I don't know, whatever. It's fucking Asmongold. He's going to just exist.
Are getting banned left, right, up, and down on the site. And people are trying to figure out why.
I love now. DSP is cool with VTubers. Somewhat cool. He had to get bullied to be cool to VTubers. Justin Wong needed to cancel out a stupid ass interview for him to be like, okay, I guess VTubers are cool. And on top of that, he got raided by a fucking VTuber that gave him inflated numbers so he could get monetized on Kick, basically. And this dude is now cool with VTubers. But if you go back, he strongly insinuates VTubers are like the anime equivalent of titty streamers. Like he had the same like reaction as if like you watch a VTuber, you're watching hentai. Like the same kind of reaction. And now VTubers, yeah, man, they're getting banned. Isn't that fucked up? But again, I don't know like these VTubers have been getting banned. I don't know like why or their story or anything like that. He just says this stuff and it's like I guess that sucks. But at the same time, many people have gone through like similar instances of this. Like the criticism of moderation on Twitch is like one thing, and that's fine to criticize. I mean, no moderation can be perfect either, but you know, there's always room for criticism on that kind of stuff. You know,
seems like VTubers are being held to this standard of behavior and or appearance of a virtual character, while real women are on the site literally almost nude.
This dude, and you know what? This is like fear-mongering. Like if you go to the front page and you happen to see these titty streamers, all they're wearing is this clothes that like, okay, they reveal cleavage. Okay, you could go to any website on the planet that's safe for work and you'll see cleavage. Like, dude, I could draw you Eno from Guilty Gear Xrd. Is that porn? No, dude. Is Eno porn in Strive? No. Whatever the fuck. Morgan from Darkstalkers. No, whatever. You see this shit. Anyway, again, you don't have to like the content. You can say the content is predatory on simps, whatever the fuck. But people will spend money on, like, porn anyway. There are people who buy. Guys, there's people who pay for porn, okay? But, I mean, shit like that is just gonna be around. There's really no point. Like, there's a lot of stuff that it's a big debate all the time. I feel like it's always like a rant I go on about this. But that's all I'm just gonna say at this point. Like, some of these streamers, it's like I don't give a fuck. Like, wow, they're streaming in like a bathing suit. Like, dude, so who cares? There's people who stream topless. There's dudes who stream topless. Is that sexual content? Probably, maybe. Who knows? Who cares? Like, dude, like, if someone's having like there's that one streamer, I keep forgetting the name, but she was fucking on stream. She got banned for that. Sure, it was like what, 24-hour, 40-hour ban, whatever the fuck. And like, fine. I mean, there's worse things you could find on the internet than people fucking. I'm sorry to say, there's worse things you could find on the internet than people fucking, like glass ass. Okay.
Basically, being whores on webcam to receive funds from simps, and Twitch is okay with that.
Who fucking cares, man? You get money off of people who, like, don't know any better. They give him so much money to eat fucking hamburgers. They're, like, inexpensive in comparison to what he's asking. This dude is also debating doing Crumble. After being scared away from doing Crave, he might do Crumble now to buy cookies. And again, he's not gonna, like, adjust the streak to match what he's buying. Like, come on.
But not with VTubers. How the fuck does that make sense? The virtual isn't allowed. The real is. What is going on? Right? How is this fucking site operational? Why is anyone even fucking using it? I mean,
who, again, like, what is this, like, panic about women streaming in bathing suits or whatever the fuck? Like, if that's such a concern, then you must be terrified to know that people can find porn on the internet. We might as well censor the internet, because they could just go to google.com, type fucking, and find fucking.
I need an explanation. Let's think about this.
Twitch
takes 50% of your income. 50.
Okay.
Every single other streaming service is better. YouTube only takes 30% or less.
Maybe they're not greedy. And they find other ways to stay afloat. Who knows, right? Come on. And I thought these people were so big that you don't have to, whatever.
Fucking Kick takes 5. Why would you be streaming on Twitch?
Yeah, but you realize that Kick could always change that too, right? Twitch wasn't always 50%. It changed to that over time. Kick is like a young website. It will last for a while, but eventually it's gonna start like, okay, guys, we need to change the percentages. We need to make some money on this site. Like, anything can change, dude.
Every time you turn on your stream, you gotta compete with half-naked women doing sexual acts on camera, sucking in money from fucking simps.
Who fucking cares? Like, imagine the miserable life you live. You turn on you're a streamer, right? And you decide, I'm gonna stream, and the whole time you're thinking there's a hot-ass girl who's getting paid for being hot. And you're gonna sit there and cry about it. What a miserable life, right? And this is, by the way, this is like behavior that DSP's mocks for trolls for supposedly having, that we're so mad that DSP's making money eating hamburgers and all this stuff, but he's getting mad that a woman is just existing on Twitch and getting paid for being hot or whatever the fuck. Think about that.
People doing stunts and bullshit to get noticed in the algorithm of that fucking site and get to the front page. And then at any moment, you could be doing nothing wrong, and all of a sudden, your stream goes down because you violated some phantom rule set that doesn't fucking exist. When you ask how you violated it, they tell you legally we don't have to say anything. Why the fuck would you ever work there? Ever. I don't get it. I really don't.
And that pisses me off.
Years ago, I could understand.
Okay.
Years ago, these things weren't exposed, weren't known.
What? Wait, what? What? What is this point?
Ever. I don't get it. I really don't. Like, years ago, I could understand. Years ago, these things weren't exposed, weren't known. These things have now been known for years and years and years.
Okay,
right?
I know what he means.
And the thing is, it's just getting worse.
But that's still, like, even back then, people were kind of saying the same shit. Anyway, whatever.
Apparently, the new thing going on Twitch is
What's
they've
the new meta?
allowed incredible amounts of hateful speech.
Oh, man. Hateful
Okay?
speech.
And the hateful speech, from what I'm to understand,
Does he understand it? Because, like, the story he brings up, it conflates a lot of people who are critical of Israel and saying that they're being anti-Semitic because they don't agree with what Israel's been doing in Gaza and all these other places. Like, that's like what a lot of people are saying about it. And I was like, looking at this, I was like, I'm sure there's like a lot of hateful content out there. It's not that like there's no hateful content at all on the internet, but a lot of this stuff was also like leveraged at people who were just saying that what Israel's doing is apprehensible and all this other stuff. So it conflates a lot of stuff all together in this little story. And DSP is not really looking at the wider picture of it or anything else or any context about it. Just this goes off on just the reactionary responses to it.
I'm trying to understand the situation. I guess is against Jewish people.
Jewish
what's
people?
happened is, as you know,
Listen to this.
okay?
Look how scared he
And
is.
the hateful speech, from what I'm to understand, I'm trying to understand the situation. I guess is against Jewish people. I guess what's happened is, as you know, there's this big war going on over in the Middle East, and there's two sides to the argument. Some people are siding with one, and some people are siding.
Okay, what's the war though? Explain to me the conflict
with the other.
Phil.
So
I'm
apparently,
stupid.
there
I
are
don't
streamers on
understand.
Twitch that are going out
I'm a detractor. Tell me the war, Phil. Teach me.
on there and saying awful things about the Jewish race as a whole. There was one streamer that
Are they
apparently
saying
went on
it
and
as a
said,
whole?
I hope
Whatever.
that every single soldier gets PTSD. Wait, what? Someone
Oh man. So there is somewhat of a context. I'm just gonna say this straight up front. I don't really like making statements about like anyone and just off the bat be like very like extreme about it. Like that statement. Like yeah, you hear it and it's like terrible. Obviously, but when you actually look at like the wider context, this person was mostly talking about like the American soldiers who caused a lot of like atrocities during a war. Like they'd go there and they might rape a innocent civilian, etc., etc. Like all these like horror stories and all these terrible like actions that happened during war. But obviously, it wasn't conveyed very well, and everyone just focused on like the headline of like, oh, she's saying this about American soldiers. That's fucked up, and that's why I don't like those kind of statements. That's just my personal thing because you shouldn't have to like word it like I don't know. It's just a very like big statement to make, and then you have to explain the context. Like if the person you're talking to is going out to the general public, you can't assume that everyone is gonna take the time to understand the context all the way or whatever. If you say it to, like as long as people like know what you're talking about, that's one thing. But this person made a statement that was this gonna be like shared over the internet, so of course it was gonna be taken in a lot of ways. So obviously Twitch was gonna like respond to that because again it's not a great statement to hear like off the bat, but that's that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you know what I'm saying and don't misconstrue what I'm saying.
What do you think about this?
Think about this.
I did hateful speech, supposedly.
Hateful slurs.
This
by
is what
the
got
way.
me removed from the
But
partner
these people
program.
did. I think that person did get removed from the partner program as well. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Or they got banned, maybe. But I know that this person eventually apologized. But I mean, they had to respond to it, correct? Whatever.
Program. Hateful speech. What did
But
I
again,
ever?
this person, DSP keeps comparing himself to these other people, but when he was banned, they weren't talking about other people. Like that's like going to court for abuse, I guess. Think of any like crime that leads you to court, and you told the judge, well, this other guy was a murderer. I'm not a murderer, so you're telling me I have to go to prison, and this person, but this guy's a murderer, right? And it's like, we're not talking about that guy. This is about you. We're not comparing you two. We're just talking about you, Phil. And that's like that's why he got banned. Twitch is not going to make a TOS decision based on like what someone else did that may be worse than him. You know, like it's just a childish like reaction to what's going on. You could say again, you could argue that that what she's kind of saying like it's kind of dumb that they were harsh on me but on this. But again, this was a new thing that happened, and it is like a very wide debate as well. Again, DSP is sitting there like not understanding the context of what's going on at all with this, and he's reporting it.
Per se, that was hateful speech. Did I ever rally against an entire race of people on Twitch?
Did
I ever
it was hateful speech.
Say that I wish that a
slurs.
whole group of people get PTSD?
So he was insulting
Did I say
people
anything
with slurs.
like that at all? Well, guess what?
Guess what?
Guess what?
Guess
those
what?
people who did those things on Twitch are still monetized right now. Not me. They are. So do you understand how unfair the site is?
Do you
what
understand
they do is they
what they were
bully
even
and
saying?
focus in on certain people who they don't like,
Okay.
and they allow other people to have completely free reign to do whatever the hell they want. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all how they operate their site. It's incredibly selective enforcement. All right? It's who they like and who they don't like in any given day.
How does he
I
think moderation works
for
on
5
websites,
years
by the way?
with no problems, and then all of a sudden one day, no monetization for you,
Whatever.
Phil. What the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Right?
So what's happened is over there, if you guys aren't aware, they've had shifts in management, shuffling about. Everything's changed, okay? Literally everything has changed, by the way, over there. Now, over and over.
No, he's getting mad about like anti-Semitism and all this other stuff. But remember, this dude also goes on and on about the pendulum swimming. The pendulum swinging both ways, guys. Oh, it's the pendulum is in social justice and wokeness. Maybe this is the pendulum to edgy racism, Phil. Ever think about that? What about the pendulum, guys? The pendulum swinging.
Over. And so now there's this other guy who's a CEO,
dude,
who I guess has been in his role for about a year. And what's happened is people are arguing the website's gotten worse under this guy's watch. And today he put out a post, a public post, which I'll show you. So there's a million posts about that. I'm trying to find his post. Maybe if I do this, it'll just be right here.
Man, you can't just find it.
By the way, this is the picture he puts up of himself.
Oh my god, dude.
This guy is old. He put up a picture of himself.
DSP has a profile picture of him as like a knight cosplaying as a king. He looks like a Monty Python character. I kind of think that's where he got it from, honestly. Think about that. But this dude has that as his profile pic, and he's sitting there talking about this dude's profile pic. Man, the king of pettiness.
Stuff like in his 20s or 30s on his fucking profile.
Oh my god.
That's not what you look like today, dude.
Guys, when you go to my Twitter profile, I'm using an image from Dan Dadan. Guys, I know, I'm not Momo Ayase. I know, shocker, right? I'm actually a lame Greek. Huge difference, I know.
At all.
At all.
There he is. He's an old man.
Okay.
And he thinks that he's still 20. So that's what he puts on his
By the way, this dude also has like a cover photo of all his faces throughout the years. And this dude is mocking this dude for having a picture of him as a kid. Like, okay. This is like really pathetic. This is very desperate.
Profile everywhere like an idiot. Okay? Some people age gracefully, some people are just fucking stupid. So,
man,
here we are. Here's his post from 5 hours ago. Okay?
Okay.
I want to make it clear that Twitch stands firmly against hate and harassment of any form. You can read more about our commitment to safety and belonging on Twitch here.
All right, read it to us, Phil.
Over the past few weeks, we've seen members of the community voice concerns about how we handle potentially harmful content. There's no place on Twitch for racism, hatred, or harassment of any kind, including anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. As our community has grown, we've endeavored to build community guidelines to prohibit these harms. It doesn't matter what guidelines you have if you don't enforce them or you selectively enforce them. You can have a list of rules, but if no one actually fucking does anything about them, the
But
rules are
again,
meaningless.
who's to say? Like, again, like, you look at the situation that's going on. You're gonna have to like determine. Well, if someone is like pro-Palestine, or they believe that Palestine should be free, is that really being anti-Semitic to Jewish people? Not necessarily, because again, no one should be for genocide. Okay, no one should be for it, obviously. So it's just sitting there. It's like, so what should they moderate? Because again, if he looks at what's going on, he may be able to understand the context a little bit more and understand that it may be a little tricky. You know what I'm saying?
This is like what's happened in all of America recently, okay? Right now, in certain parts of the country, notably where I live, crime rates are at an all-time high. Because
Man,
they
okay.
decided 5 years ago, 4 years
We
ago,
are
to
just
loosen all
dude. We're talking about Twitch and we're talking about crime rates. DSP, just put your head in the toilet already.
laws and loosen the enforcement of the laws. So literally right now, I'm not kidding you. If you go to a retail store and you just stand there for 5 hours, you will witness probably 10 people walk into the store, grab a bunch of shit, put it in a bag, and walk right out the door. And no one does anything about
He should record that. Record it. And no one does anything about it. Why don't you do something about it, Phil? Since you care so much. But again, this is like that's no way that's true though. And this dude like was like acts as if like it's super duper crime land there. Come on, man. Shut up.
it. If you call the police, they don't do anything about it. There's no one in the store to stop them. That's just
And again-
common here in Washington.
Again, this is like just stealing from the store. The store has like insurance for that, and yeah, it sucks that it happens. Sure, but like at the same time, isn't it also just like, well, at least no one got hurt? Whatever. Okay.
Washington State now. Why? Because you don't enforce the rules. It's illegal
Did
to do
anyone
what
call
they
the cops?
did,
Did
but
they
no
try
one arrests
that?
them or puts them in jail
Whatever.
for it, so they just continue to do it.
But again, but you know the thing that's like really dumb about this? The other times he talking about this story, he always brings up, well, someone steals it, then they get caught, then they're forced to put it back. So if that's the case, if that's what they end up doing is putting stuff back, then like, who cares, right? But now the story is that they just walk off with it and no one does anything about it. I mean, like, dude, come on. What if the person who's stealing has a gun? Should everyone have a gun? Whatever. Okay.
It doesn't matter what rules you have on Twitch.
Give everyone a
If
gun.
no one actually monitors and enforces the rules, then nothing will ever happen to make it a better place to stream. You understand? Twitch is and will always be about belonging. Each day, people come together on our service to build communities around shared interests and to express themselves authentically. Yes, shared interests such as throwing money at girls who are almost completely nude.
This is like really dumb. He's acting as if like today's streamers are like the majority of the site. And he has no real like basis for that claim. He just makes that claim. Like what if I said this about people who just use the internet and stream on it? Like, well, only porn stars use the internet. So like DSP, like, so everyone, even on Kick, YouTube, Twitch, they're all porn stars. Like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
For this to be possible, we work hard to ensure that our community is a safe place. Our community guidelines are foundational. This is so bad, I don't want to read this. When we find content that breaks those rules, we take immediate action. Wrong. That's a lie. That's a complete lie.
How do you know?
Immediate...
How do you know that they don't take immediate enforcement action? Again, they're monitoring the entire website that allows everyone across the globe to use it. Whatever.
Action at all.
Okay.
This will always be the case. Wrong. That's a lie. Millions of streamers with a wide variety of views and perspectives spend time on Twitch. We recognize that some content will allowed on our service may be objectionable to some members of our community. The views shared by streamers on Twitch are not the views of Twitch, nor are they my personal views. We're grateful for the feedback and input from our community. Our safety approach continues to build. So he says nothing. He literally says nothing.
But
everyone is...
He's talking about this, but this is the same kind of like damage control nonsense DSP does on his own streams. Go back to any time when there was an issue with his chat, and he will always like give you these kind of empty platitudes. Like, dude, you're no better. Shut up.
Telling him,
Whatever.
your site is gross. You've got people on there who are anti-Semites. You got people on there saying all soldiers should have PTSD. You got women ripping
Wait,
their
what was that?
telling him, your site is gross. You've got people on there who are anti-Semites. You got people on there saying all soldiers should have PTSD.
PTSD. Patient Street? I don't know. PT. Well, I guess he means PTSD, but okay.
You got women ripping their fucking clothes off.
They're ripping their clothes off. Yeah, I remember I was watching one woman streamer, and she was like, guys, we got 100 bits. And she's like taking her clothes off, shaking, jumping up and down. It definitely happened. Okay, it definitely did.
Writing on their naked bodies.
Oh my god, they're writing on their bodies. Oh my god. We gotta send the Twitch squad at their house and tell them to stop. Oh my god, I can't believe they're taking a marker that could probably be washed off and writing a name on it. Oh my god, DSP never had anything weird like that, right? Where, he would put on clothing because of people contributed, right?
Accepting money from fucking simps and shit. No one likes your site. Fix it. He says, our site's good. We have good rules, and we enforce it every time.
But, again, it's so funny, right? It says here about, harmful content. How is titty streamers harmful content? Who's getting hurt? Financially, sure, but no one is getting, no one is watching a titty streamer getting radicalized. Like you could say about, people who are spreading any forms of hate on the internet, whatever, right? Come on now, dog.
Guy's a piece of shit.
Come
hey,
on
Dan.
now.
Danny boy who thinks he's 20 when he's fucking 60.
DSP, what if he just razzing you? What if Dan made his image like that because he was just razzing you, right? Correct? Because DSP puts himself as a king on Twitter. Does that mean he thinks of himself as a king? No, it's a joke, man. But Dan can't joke. It's all serious business for him.
Clancy, you're a piece of shit. You literally put out a statement that basically is you're going like this in the face of all your customer base. Well, your customer base...
We're not customers, though. The people who stream on their site, they're not customers if you think about it. They're getting paid, they're not customers. I'm sorry, Phil. This is what I said for years. This dude talks about these websites as if he's a customer. No, you're a contractor. You make money on this site. You're not a customer. I'm sorry, Phil. You're not a customer. How many times you go to a store and you leave with extra money in your wallet? That would be a crazy store to go to.
Isn't going to accept that as a fucking answer. In fact, if you go back and you look at all the responses, this is absolutely hilarious. Please give an example of how Twitch has stood firmly against hate. We notice your favorite streamer, Hassan the Hun, is quite hateful. What did Twitch do about it? I think you knew a new trust.
Does he know who he is? Who Hassan the Hun is? Does he know? Does he know?
ET. Platitudes with no actions, to be quite honest. What's the reason for ignoring thousands of people sharing Frogan's clip just for her to be banned a day later, but it was something completely unrelated? Here you claimed you take immediate enforcement actions.
Whatever.
Right? That would start with banning Hassan. Safety and belonging of Hassan Piker, you mean not people like me? Hassan still existing on your platform contradicts any excuse of a...
Again, does DSP know anything about Hassan's content? The only thing I know is I've just seen clips. That's all. But I wouldn't go around just basing judgment off of a streamer I don't watch, even close to regular...
Commitment to safety and belonging that you could think of. And saying to me how your platform is allowed to operate with such blatant disregard to the people that inhabit it. Why'd you lie about banning new accounts from Israel for a year? I mean, this just keeps going.
Did that even happen?
This is I'm not even kidding. There's 1,000 responses. There's 1,200 responses to be specific. And everyone...
It's people are on the internet.
...is bringing out some of this stuff, right? So, that's what I mean. Yeah, look, your words don't mean shit. Stop the bullshit. Step down. This doesn't end until you do. Look at this. A representative in New York is warning of amplification of anti-Semitism by Twitch streamer Hassan Piker. So basically, he's saying this guy is inciting anti-Semitic actions because of what he says on Twitch.
What does he say?
This guy says, oh, if we saw any of that, we'd ban him immediately.
What did he say?
A senator.
Again.
he hasn't watched his content, so he doesn't even know. I'm just going off of the if you're just a normal guy and you look at the newspaper and you just see random names, you're probably gonna want to look into that and say, why is this person like such a interesting individual? And then you form an opinion. Like, if people had a cursory glance at stuff like DSP, they probably would assume OJ was innocent. But no, people looked into it and they formed their own opinion. Okay, sure,
Excuse
buddy.
me, a representative, a government official is saying it, right? So this just drives me nuts, right?
It drives me nuts, man. This dude should get
But
off
I want to
Twitch,
work there, right?
Twitter.
Oh man, Twitch is the best place to stream. It's the safest place to stream. You make the most discoverability. All right, the myth of discoverability must now be destroyed. I've had enough.
I had enough.
There is
this dude invented a narrative. He invented people saying this, by the way. I've not met a single person say this.
No discoverability on Twitch whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, if you stream on
discoverability, I think, is rough on any website. Any website you go to, discoverability is hard. Come on, man.
Twitch,
this is coming from a dude who streams on Kick and he gets like, what, 70 viewers? Is discoverability better on Kick? Is that why he only pulled in like 70 viewers?
Bug.
And he needed a VTuber to rate him to get over 1,000?
A pile of other bugs, okay? You're not going to get discovered on Twitch and make it big. The myth is a lie. All right,
one can make it big on the internet.
A nobody turned on the stream on Twitch and got saw it on the front page, and now they're a millionaire. This doesn't fucking happen.
It doesn't happen.
Right? By the way, it doesn't happen anywhere. It doesn't happen on YouTube. It doesn't happen on Twitch. It doesn't happen on Kick. It's not going to happen anywhere. All right? The idea now, sadly, I'm sorry that I got to be honest with everyone. The market is oversaturated for streamers. Okay? It just is.
So
the only reason I didn't have an audience at this point.
When do you just want to do it for fun?
For
like this dude is so miserable. He's sitting there talking about like this as if it's like a job. Like everyone does it at just as a cold ass job and not for fun or whatever. Or they do it as a side hustle or whatever. And this dude is acting as if like everyone's doing it to like become the next Brad Pitt. Okay.
And I'm such an internet staple and kind of an oddity that I still have people who like me and want to watch my content because I've been around for so long. Do you understand?
Understand.
But there is no person on earth who's going to magically go on Twitch and all of a sudden overnight is an internet success. It doesn't happen. Okay?
It didn't happen for years.
Maybe completely lucky. You do something silly and it gets noticed and someone else talks about it and amplifies it. Maybe there is a 1 in a zillion shot where you hit the algorithm. But the people who are getting very, very successful, if you notice
aren't
necessarily the nicest, kindest, gentlest, most awesome people. People who are pulling stunts, people who are doing vile things, people who are saying extremist stuff
how do you know?
To get a polarized opinion out there. So everyone who
let's say I have an opinion that's so like out there in your opinion. You think that I'm like extreme for saying that. Should I be banned for that? I don't know. Like the thing is, it really comes down to like what is being said and the way it's being said and all this other stuff. Like again, with Asmund Gold, he said something like that a whole group of people are not worth living. He said some fucked up shit like that. It was some very, very fucked up shit like that. And this dude is like, well, guys, like they do stunts, man. But then if that's the case, then shouldn't he be happy that Asmund Gold got banned? Like that's the thing I should really be mentioning, because this dude's like, Asmund Gold got banned for saying stuff, but then he's saying this like, well, these people are saying awful stuff, they should be banned. But again, if he knew what Asmund Gold said, he would understand. Okay, yeah, he should be banned. But no, he doesn't do any research to anyone.
Loves and watches them, and everyone who hates them loves to hate them and watches them. You get it? That's how people are blowing up. Look at side scrollers.
Look at them.
They had a podcast they launched early 2023. It sucked ass and flopped. They were trying to relaunch this thing. They could not get a foothold in gaming. So they quit, and they brought it back as a political...
Oh, man. I don't see something. I wonder if it's, like, my headphones. There's, like, a weird echo, and I think it's the headphones. Sometimes it does this, and it's bullshit.
Show, and now they get thousands of viewers.
It still sounds echoey.
Why? Because it's the drama content. It's the lowbrow content. It's the easy shit. The stuff that gets people pissed off. That's what sells today. All right?
That's what
That's
sells.
it for Twitch. If you're going to be a girl taking her clothes off, or you're going to sit there and say extremist political shit, you'll probably get
man.
noticed on Twitch. And that's it. But guess what?
Guess
That's
what?
the content that's destroying the site.
This dude, like, Jordan Kino Casino, they can have extreme political takes. Why is that fine? Huh?
Right. That's why advertisers are leaving in droves.
Whatever.
Just like they were leaving YouTube in 2017. That site cannot continue to exist with management that ignores the problems, sticks their fingers in their ears, and they claim like they don't exist, which is exactly what CEO Daniel Clancy just did. He lies outright, saying
How does he know?
that all
Like,
these
a lot
rules
of
are
them is very
enforced when we know
speculative,
they're not.
though.
We have concrete evidence they're not. It's selective enforcement on any given day. That is the most unprofessional fucking
But
site to
whatever.
work on. You never know if you're going to get a fair shake or not today. I worked there for 5 years, and then they gave me the shit can out of the partner program and refused to tell me what I even did.
By the way, this dude, like, when he first left Twitch back in 2014 or so, he didn't have partnership, right? And then in 2017, well, the end of 2016 into 2017, he was able to reopen his channel and get partnership very, very easily. But they didn't give him a fair shake, guys.
Did wrong.
And
Again-
they walked back his indefinite suspension as well to, like, what, a 24, 48-hour suspension? Yeah, man, they didn't give him a fair shake for all these years.
I found out what it was. It was they looked at my previous content from over a decade ago and didn't like the nasty jokes that I told back then, so they kicked me out of the partner program.
Again, now we're mocking the jokes when he said that he understands that they're hurtful jokes, by the way. Like,
Even though
okay.
it had nothing to do with my current day content, they didn't care because they went woke.
They went,
Well,
well,
guess what, fuckers? Now you're falling apart because your site is so pushed to one direction that no one wants to be on
Sure.
it anymore. So that's why you're losing advertising.
But this dude says that they went woke, right? Correct? But if that's the case, then wouldn't they be more upset at anti-Semitism because that's a form of hate and all this other stuff? Like, this little claim of they went woke is so meaningless. It's just a streaming platform that has, like, bad moderation and all this other nonsense with it. And this dude is like, they went woke. I mean, I don't think they went woke. I just think that they just don't run their site properly. Correct? Like, that's all it is. Come on.
Advertisement revenue, and that's why you can't make money anymore. You're fucked because you went too far. You have a CEO. I can't believe this.
Man,
The
are you gonna talk
CEO
about
of
the fucking
the
profile
company.
pic again?
This is great.
Really, man?
All right? That's his avatar on Twitter,
Oh, man.
and this is him.
Dude, who
everyone in the
cares?
Don't spoil this.
We're doing amazing.
Okay?
That's his old man.
Jesus,
But this is his fucking
man.
avatar. He's living in a
DSP, look at your fucking avatar. And you think you're a king? Wow, guys, DSP thinks he's a king.
parallel fantasy dimension where he thinks he's a hip young man and he knows
By the way, Kat on her Twitter says that she's from Japan. So does she think she's Japanese? This dude is so brain dead. He needs to, like, drink bleach and shove his head in the toilet and never take it out.
Look at me. What the fuck kind of company is this? That's where you want to stream? With Mr. Fantasyland? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Oh my god.
Right?
Dude,
Seriously.
you're trying so hard.
This is just stupid shit.
This is so
Don't work on
stupid.
Twitch. I implore you.
Don't work on
Get the fuck
Twitch.
out of there. If
Get out
you're
of
working on
there.
Twitch right now, there's viable alternatives. YouTube, there's no discoverability, but there's also no discoverability on Twitch. And on YouTube, you get paid more. You get paid, they only take 30% of your contributions.
Okay.
All right? Kick, hell,
For now.
they barely take anything, but
For
over
now.
there, you're definitely only reliant on subs. They don't have a lot of the features that other sites have right now. They will probably eventually, all right?
But man, again, this
Well, I
dude
guess
thinks
we'll
that,
see.
like, it's gonna be
We'll see
forever
what
at
happens if
these
they actually
rates.
do add things
Kick
like
can
the
always
chats and
change
stuff like
them.
that on Kick. But
Like,
I'll tell you right now,
that's like the problem making a living on the internet. It gets harder and harder because obviously websites, they probably don't want to give money to people so willy-nilly. Because that's what happened in the beginning. When YouTube started paying people for videos, they gave them way too much money. And since then, they've slowly started to adjust it so that they're not giving too much money away. Like, there's a whole other debate about that too, but it is what it is, man.
now, I would, again, the only reason you would ever see me streaming on
Ever.
Twitch is if it was the last streaming place. I'm serious. I'm streaming on Kick and YouTube right now. I would fucking stream on Rumble first. I would stream on the tiniest streaming site first before I went back to fucking Twitch.
Man, I wish
they
went
have
to
gone
Rumble.
completely in the wrong direction in the last 5+ years. They don't know what they're doing.
They don't know
Their
what they're
management
doing.
is a fucking, they're high.
They're high.
Don't work there.
Man, they're high, dude. Man, if you like weed, you're a fucking idiot.
Thing is, the guy's
They're
such
high.
in denial.
Okay.
People present him with the evidence in his face of things going wrong. No, that's not happening. We enforce everything. Dude,
What
you
if
can't
what if
ignore
these are false
reality around you.
reports?
Maybe
Like,
you do.
I
'cause
love when people report DSP, they're all false reports, but he can't think at all. Maybe these people are reporting this. Maybe those are false reports. What if, man? Like, dude, come on. And the thing is, like, if you've done your own research on this and have your own opinion, that's your own opinion, man. But DSP has done zero research and zero legwork. He literally just looked at Twitter, looked at the replies, and made his judgment. He didn't like look further into it. He didn't watch the full clip of what Frogan said. He has no idea what's going on with Israel and Palestine. He has no idea of anything. And this dude is making all these like wild like statements without any research, like at all. And all it is because he hates Twitch. That's all this is.
that's why your avatar profile is you as a 20-year-old guy instead of who you actually are today. You're living in the past.
Oh man,
right?
that's really bright.
Anyway.
What did he do?
All right, guys. So that is it for the news today. We have a couple shout outs to do and a little bit of discussion, and then we're going to move on and end the show here.
All right. So let's move on to the next video I want to watch, and then that'll be it. We did it, guys. We're going to make it to the second video. I was scared. I thought it wouldn't happen, and now it's happening. It's happened, guys.
I think we're all going to enjoy this one.
We're going to enjoy this. Get ready to enjoy. Enjoy the fun.
Okay.
All right.
All right, you ready for this?
Okay.
Why? About 45 minutes in.
got it.
All right.
Guys, I'm sorry I didn't do this before. I'm going to do it right now to make it up. There you go. You got some automaton
So,
action.
folks, we have been talking this last week about if I should try Dragon Age Veilguard, correct? Now, already we found out that if I'm going to get it, there's a big discounted way to do it on PC where you join the...
I want him to play it. I want him to play this fucking game. I'm so tired of him fucking talking about it. Guys, Dragon Age Veilguard is like this kind of... And it's like, I'm sitting there like, dude, I'm so tired of hearing about this game. He should just play it. Just play it. Fuck it. You know, see where he lands. Again, he may like it. What if he likes it? Or is he gonna let the hate mob win and he's gonna be like, this sucks. This is terrible.
EA Play Plus or Platinum or Golden subscription.
Oh my god!
And
Wow,
you basically
another
can get it
subscription.
for $17 a month, right?
Right.
And if I do play Veilguard, that's definitely how I'm going to do it. I'm going to basically get the subscription. I'm not going to pay $70 plus tax or anything like that.
Yeah, so
okay?
then they can brag about
But
how
the question is,
how
should
the
I
game was
play it?
successful, right?
Everyone knows the game's going to be
whatever.
incredibly long, a big time investment. And everywhere I go, I see different opinions on this game. Some people say the gameplay is actually quite good, but the story is not that good. Some people say the gameplay is too watered down and more like an action game, so it's not that good. Some people say it's not good at all in any way, shape, or form.
Wow,
it's like-
man, guys, people have opinions on games.
So,
Whoa,
what do you
more
believe, right?
at 11.
So one of the topics that definitely has been discussed is the level of wokeness in the game. All
Oh
right,
my
now
God, the level of
as I've
wokeness?
explained, I don't mind having these kind of left-leaning liberal themes in video games. That's okay, as long as it's in line with the game.
It's so annoying hearing you talk about left-leaning liberal shit in games. Like, what if they just want to have it in their game? Come on, a dog.
In the universe, and it makes
Whatever.
sense. Playing Life is Strange, you expect it's going to be in it, right? Today I'm playing Life is
But
Strange double.
so how come they can only be in Life is Strange? Why can't it be in other games? Like, why doesn't it make sense for Dragon Age for them to have like different genders, transgender people, whatever? Like, why not? The game has a character creator, and it's like, well, why not have that in the character creator? Like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with the game giving you the option of pronouns in the creator, custom creator, whatever the fuck? Like, This is just kind of like splitting hairs.
exposure, I expect that there's going to be themes that Max, the main character, likes girls and maybe has a relationship with one.
Well,
And I'm not going to.
I love that this dude. He's pretty much saying that that there should be like a game that warns you that it's gonna be this or whatever the fuck. Like what? Like why do we need a warning for that? Why at that point? Why not warn the gamer about? Oh, guys, there's gonna be a sex scene, guys. A man and a woman may get married in this game, guys. There may be a love scene in this game. They should do that for a Persona. Think about it. It would actually make sense to Persona. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it.
Sit there and bitch about it because that's part of the universe. That's part of the writing of the character. It just makes sense. Okay?
Okay.
But for me, where I'm
me.
finding lots of issue in the modern day.
But then, why didn't he do that for Baldur's Gate 3, right? It's in the game to do these romance stuff, and it makes sense in the game, right? Why doesn't he do it? No.
Is when you have a game universe that previously was one thing or known to be one way, and now because they want to be in line with the times and what's hip and what's
But what if they just wanted to have more representation in the game because, like, it's time. Like, it doesn't hurt to not have it. You know, like, it doesn't, or is it? It doesn't hurt to have it. It doesn't hurt to have it. To have that representation in the game. Again, it's all in the character customization. There's like a dialogue that he's gonna watch about it, which I have seen, and it's like it is the dumbest thing because I have seen an equivalent to that kind of scene in other stuff. Like there's a lot, like you could probably find something where it says, in my culture we apologize for doing this so we know it's genuine or whatever the fuck. Like I've heard similar shit like that in the past. Like, it's really like, okay, good for you, you know, whatever.
popular and they want to have a social narrative so they can not just be a video game but also be like, oh, we're so important to everyone.
Again, how come, like, not, what if the game wants to do that, and why is it being mocked for doing that? This dude goes on and saying, games are art. Video games are art, guys. Now, of course, I do think that there could be space for games as art and game as not art, whatever. But if a game is being developed and they have a story to it and they have a world of characters and they want to world build and all this other stuff, it stands to the reason there's going to be characters that may be transgender, gay, non-binary, etc., etc., etc. Like, you could just assume that could be a chance because it's a world. Like, what's to say that that can't be the case? What's to say that it can? Like, but that, you know, why not? So why was it so bad for Dragon Age to have these kind of moments and plot beats in the characters if it's part of the world? But then he says, well, it's just out of nowhere this happened. But like a lot of times they don't include it in the game. Back then it was because they didn't know how people were going to take it. Then they see that, oh, people are more accepting of it. Why not just throw it in? Like at some point there's gonna have to be a point where, okay, we can have this in our games now. Like, why? Like, it's not, and they're not like taking an existing character and doing a complete change and saying, okay, this is this character, same name, same everything, but they're different in the same universe. And it's not a reboot. Like, whatever. Okay.
Everyone out in culture now that then they try to interject this kind of stuff into their game universe. All right. So here's the deal. We've been talking about this recently, and I told you guys it doesn't really bother me as long as it's done tastefully. So someone sent me this clip.
DSP is definitely the guy who knows tasteful storytelling about any walks of life. DSP, this guy right here, who got very uncomfortable when OIC came out as transgender. This person, he gets it. He gets it.
And said, Phil, here's what you gotta do. All right, you ready? The Veilguard Woke Challenge. This clip, it's about 2 minutes long. Supposedly this clip is the most cringe-worthy, worst part of Dragon Age Veilguard. All right? Like, over the top, way forced down your throat, way poorly done, gonna make you vomit and cringe levels of crap.
Gonna cringe and
they
vomit.
said, if you can stomach this, if you can watch this and you can survive it,
what if I can't?
I'm scared. You can get through it, then you can play Veilguard. But if you watch this and that's it, and you can't take it, don't play the game. This is
Man,
it.
He's laughing at this.
Folks, spoiler alert.
And we still don't know if we're
here
gonna play it,
live
by
on
the way.
show,
So this
we're about to
challenge
do this
is
together,
meaningless.
all right?
It's honestly
about to
meaningless
do
because he's
this.
still considering playing the game.
If you're not interested, wait a few minutes and come back. Okay?
Okay.
So here we go. This is it. Now, to give you some background, I already know about this because this has been talked about on social media. The character on the far right is trans. Okay? Basically, kind of like either gender fluid, or I guess they were born one gender and now they're another gender.
What do you think trans
I
is,
don't care.
DSP?
Like, who cares?
Like, what do you
right?
think it
I really
means?
don't give a shit. That doesn't offend me.
Okay.
Apparently, this scene is so poorly done that people
Alright.
saw it and said, I will never play Dragon Age ever again. All right? So, we're going to do it. I'm going to do the challenge. We're going to see what happens. This will be interesting. Okay?
All right. Take a sip. What happened to the mug? You should be drinking out of the mug, dude. Come on. Not from the bottle.
All right, we
Hello?
ready?
All right. Ready?
All right. Hold on. Let me make
Okay.
sure I get my volume up here. I want to be able to hear it. Okay, we ready? In 3, 2, 1. Oh, I can't press spacebar. I have to press play.
Man, doing
That
this and
snake's
then not
nose.
being played,
She's still
that's
holding the ruby
embarrassing.
in her other hand. Maker's
Yeah.
panties. I was so proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
what are you doing?
Pulling a bar.
Hold on. I think we should watch from the beginning again because the volume was low.
Oh man, yippee.
I want to watch the whole thing from start to
By the way,
finish.
if they said they is their pronoun,
I just want to watch the whole
that
thing
is
from
not
start to finish and
necessarily
understand the
transgender. It
context.
could be non-binary.
And then we'll
thing,
go from
whatever.
there.
You know, like,
Okay?
come on.
Let's
dog.
watch it again because I missed the beginning.
Do some
Holding that
research.
snake's nose. She's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
what are you doing?
Pulling a barb.
Oh, okay. A barv?
Tradition in the Lords of Fortune from one of our old members, Barv. Good guy, but like most of us, his plans went sideways a lot. Bad blood among your crew's not good for morale, but there's not always time for big, drawn-out apologies. So, when one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right. Pulling a Barv.
Wow,
There we
man.
go.
I've never heard a character in media ever explain a cultural, societal thing that they've done ever in history of media ever. This is uncharted territory. But like when it,
And
like
by the laws of
if
fortune,
that's how she apologizes, right? I guess we know we're gonna get to it. I'm
you
like
have
getting ahead of
Tasha's
myself.
back.
Oh, Tash isn't the first non-binary member of the Lords.
Really?
It was a little before your time, but Horlicks was one of ours.
Huh.
Bastard looked better than I did in a dress or pants. And out of them, too.
Any reason you can't just apologize?
Sometimes people say, oops, sorry, and hope that fixes it. But they just want to get the whole
We
thing
give the
over
DSP
with.
apology.
Trust me, I know. But pulling
Yeah,
a
that,
bar,
you know what?
you
That's exactly what DSP does when he apologizes. She's describing him perfectly. He always apologizes and hopes to move on and never address it, and that's it. That's all he does it for. It's the same reason he banned Derek. Not because, like, he has those playlists and all those other fucked up shit. It's because he wants people to move on. That's exactly the DSP way. I see why DSP might be offended by this scene. They called him out, man.
sweat a little. Makes you think about it a little more. Shows the other person you mean it.
What if they mean it when they say they're sorry, though?
And that's the other reason. Some people mess up and get all dramatic. They make it about them. Oh,
man,
you know,
that-
I didn't mean it right. I'd never do that on
Again, that's
purpose.
just like DSP.
They feel so bad about it that it's on everyone else to smooth it over and make them feel better.
Oh, okay. Yes, some people might do that.
Pulling a barv puts it on the person who screwed up. They made the mess, they fix it, done.
Done. Like, that's not really that cringe. Like, there's probably worse writing you could
okay.
find.
I just want to understand the context,
Well,
because there's a
but,
lot
you know,
of
like,
context here. If you guys
Listen
don't
to
know,
this. Listen to this.
do you know who that character is?
You know who that
Isabella.
is?
Isabella is
Whoa.
a character who's previously been in 2 Dragon Age games. She was in 2 and 3. You know,
Okay.
Dragon Age 2 and then Dragon Age Inquisition, correct?
All right, correct.
So if you don't know who she is, her character previously in games, in this series, okay, is she was supposed to be like almost like a pirate, kind of, or a bandit.
Really? A
like
pirate?
thief,
I would
you know,
never
like
would
she
have
would,
guessed.
from the shadows, come and get you from behind. That was her class. What
Wow.
do they call that? A rogue? Rogue, right? But her character is that she's completely brazen, crass, swears like a sailor, right? Over the top, and always like sexual content. Like everything out of
Always
her
sexual
mouth
content?
is like a sexual comment. I mean, there's even one of my funniest
She
moments.
even
Oh,
said
I
it in
remember the
in
year when
this
Dragon
too.
Age 2
Talk
came
about
out.
panties
Is
and
out of nowhere.
all that. Whatever.
She talks to a character about wanting to sleep with them, and then everyone walks off camera and apparently has like a menage a trois off camera, and then they just come right back like
Okay.
nothing ever happened. So that's like her running
Whatever.
character in the game. She's over the top, brazen, over.
I've not played
character
Dragon
meant to
Age,
be-
but I'm just gonna assume there's more to her character than just that. I'm just gonna like just assume there's like character moments for her, but at the same time, why wouldn't what if she changed? Time passed. Like, how many years from Dragon Age Inquisition or 2, whatever the fuck the order is Veilguard? Like, come on now, dog.
be that way. But she kind of talks like a dude almost, right? Like a bro almost. Like that's how
A
she
bro.
is, okay?
She's a bro.
That's how her character has always been in the games.
Uh-huh.
All right, in the past.
All right. Okay.
Literally this clip. Now I'm not even talking about the context of anything that just happened in the clip with the character being trans or anything. What just happened doesn't even make sense.
Huh?
So she's talking and she accidentally uses the wrong pronoun. She decides she wants to make up for it by walking and doing 10 push-ups, and she calls it a barv, right? They ask her what the hell she's doing. She explains. This is the
what a
way in their
barf
clan
is.
that they basically make up for mistakes because it's quick, easy, gets to the point, and moves on, right?
Quick and easy to get to the point. She said it makes you sweat a little. She didn't say it was quick and easy. She said that the others were quick and easy apologies that were not sincere. This the whole message of that scene was, I do this to show you that I'm genuinely sorry, and you understand that I'm sorry because I'm doing this that's extra work. I mean, all this, like, if you want to take it on a grander scale, the only lesson this is teaching people is that when you apologize, you should find a way to show how genuine you are. It doesn't have to literally be push-ups or whatever the fuck, but it's just that, like, sometimes when you apologize, you have to show you're genuine. You can't just sit there and say, sorry, man, and then, like, walk off and not show it. Like, it could just be literally, I'm sorry, then you just call them by the pronouns that they prefer, and then that's it. There you go. But, like, that's all that scene is saying. It's just, and it's something that they do in her clan. Like, this is a really straightforward scene that's not even, like, worth this kind of outrage about it. You can say, like, I mean, the way that the other character delivered the lines are like, oh, like that kind of stuff, it is kind of, like, sloppy. Like, I think what should have just happened is that she just did the barf, then the person that she's apologizing to is like, oh, like, it's okay, you don't have to do that. And she could say, no, I'm doing this because of the clan. Like, that's kind of it. Like, that probably would have rolled, like, easier than, like, having that person say, like, oh, like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
But if you know the character from the previous games, that doesn't even fit the character. For her, they'd be like, oh, you used the wrong pronoun. She'd be like, go fuck yourself. Like, that's her character.
What if she
She's
changed?
like, yeah, I don't care. Fuck you.
What if she grew
Right?
up?
Like that. She's brazen. She's brash. She
How
does
dare
what she
she?
wants.
How dare
She's
they
not
change the
worrying about
character?
offending everyone around
Now,
her.
this dude is saying they're like, well, when they make games, they should make characters more mature and, like, adaptable and all this other shit. So, Isabella's not allowed to change at all between games or have a deeper understanding with her party members. And again, this is something she says that as a inner party turmoil thing. Like before, like it could have just been patter between the crew members and they understand each other. But if it's something that's like, oh, I should apologize for this, maybe that's what they do. Like the other games don't show it. What if they want to show you that in this game? Whatever, okay.
In fact, she purposely kind of goes out of her way to offend the people around her. That's her character.
And what if she changed?
So right
What if
off
she
the
grew
bat,
up?
the writing of the character is completely incorrect. It's like they're rewriting the character for this new game to be something different to serve the purposes of their
Okay.
narrative.
Again, this is
Okay?
like one scene,
So,
by the way.
number
he
one,
pulled this
this
out
doesn't
of.
even make sense. She's not even in character in the scene. All right? That's number one. That's only issue number one. Okay? Number two.
Okay, number 2, baby. Let's go.
So, you use the wrong pronoun, so now you need to apologize for it.
You need to
Okay.
apologize. It's not that you need to, but you should want to as the person. Like, if you're friends with someone and you do something to like annoy them or whatever, you should naturally want to apologize. Like, if I had a friend who had preferred pronouns and I accidentally called them the wrong pronoun, I would apologize for that because I'd understand. Oh, they want me like they want me to use this pronoun and I messed up, and then I would like fix that by apologizing and then just calling them by the pronoun that they prefer. That's it. This person like is doing this to show that they're being genuinely apologetic about it. So it's not that like you should do it out of obligation. You should do it because like you're friends with the person that you did that to. But DSP wouldn't understand that because he doesn't have any friends, obviously.
So she goes and does 10 push-ups, and then that's it. And then it's over. And they say, well, I don't get it. You didn't really say you were sorry. You just did 10 push-ups. How is that an apology? Oh, you see, because if you apologize, number one, it could be disingenuous.
Again, she explains the context of the apology. Like, some people say this and they may not mean it, and I want to show you that I'm being genuine about it. Like, you can sit there and say, well, this is a good, but that is what the person who has to forgive them can decide. So she does that push up, let's say, right? And the character that she's doing that for doesn't accept that apology. They can say, like, I don't accept that apology because you just did this. Like, why don't you like apologize or whatever the fuck? Like, that's on them. But if she doesn't explain why they're doing it, and then she could say, oh, okay, so like, as long as they're being genuine, I'll take your word for it because you did that, and all is forgiven. And then you do it again, it is what it is. Like, that's all that's happening, and he acts as if like the person's apology should like take that into consideration. But if you're genuinely apologetic to someone and you apologize, and the person doesn't think it's not good enough, you'll either have to just take the L and just be like, oh, okay, or you're just gonna find another way to make it up to them. But like, again, it's up to the person you do it to. So when you're watching the scene and she accepts the apology that she did, then you can assume through the scene that it's okay because she understands, right? It's really not that deep.
Listen, you're just trying to get the whole thing over. So doing a verbal apology doesn't show sacrifice, right?
They didn't say sacrifice. They didn't say this dude is so fixated on sacrifice. Every time we talk about anything, it's always sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice. This dude needs to fucking sacrifice something. You know what I'm saying? You just sacrifice the turkeys behind him. One too many.
Number two, some people will make it more about them. That if they try to apologize with words, they'll say something like, oh, I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to. I'm bad at this, and I do this a lot, and I'm sorry. And then people feel bad for them because they feel like that's the one that's socially awkward because they're in a situation that they're not.
That's kind of like project like that kind of something that hit him a little deep. Like, that's not a good apology, bitch. That's what I do all the time.
Adjusted to, right? Maybe they're not around people who are trans or
wait, what?
They feel like the one that's socially awkward because they're in a situation that they're not adjusted to, right? Maybe they're not around.
Wait, I want to hear this
again.
again.
I'm sorry, and then people feel bad for them because they feel like the one that's socially awkward because they're in a situation that they're not adjusted to, right?
Okay,
Maybe they're not
whatever.
around people who are trans or non-binary a lot, and so they're confused about how to do it, and so
They're
now, oh, feel
confused.
bad for them because they're actually the one that's awkward in this situation, right? So just do 10 push-ups. But the funny part about all that is, think about this for a second, because I
Think
don't
about
know
it.
if anyone has thought about it this way yet, okay? The point is, to apologize verbally isn't enough. It's never enough. You got to go the extra mile to
Shut up.
apologize to
Call
someone
decline.
because you used the wrong pronoun, correct?
Wait, what?
Apologize verbally isn't enough. It's never enough.
They didn't say it's not enough. They just explained the context. Like she feels the person who did the fucking push-ups felt, if I said this, it may not come like genuine, and I want to make sure this person understands I'm being genuine. They're not saying that everyone feels this way or whatever. This is just how the character feels, and that's why she did it.
You got to go the extra mile to apologize to
It's-
someone.
Oh
because
my
you used
god.
the wrong pronoun, correct? Because it shows if you do
That's
10
not
push-ups
what
that
they're
you're
talking
actually
about.
caring. At the same time, though, I want you to think
Oh,
about
man,
this.
Think about this.
You are basically doing it in a way that you feel yourself is good enough. But what about the person who you actually offended? Right.
If they didn't accept Isabella's apology, that's on them to say I don't accept your apology. This dude is insinuating a made up thought that the character in the scene doesn't have. But again, the character didn't have to accept it, but they wrote it in because it's like, well, she did this, and like, and they're obviously a party, so obviously this person's gonna understand that this person is being genuine and accept the apology. This is like a very nonsensical like criticism that you're just forcing onto the scene that is not even part of the scene.
Right? Let's say this is a person sitting next to you you don't know, and you use the wrong pronoun and you offended them. Okay, well, the way we do it is we do 10 push-ups. That person might be like, I don't care if you do 10 push-ups. Apologize to me. You used the wrong pronoun, and now I'm upset with you, right?
Then that's for them to talk about. But see, this also shows like how DSP accepts apologies. Oh my god, dude, this is insane. Shut up. Jesus. They're telling me bullshit again. They're like, oh, sell your stock now or we're gonna kill you. And I'm like, no, bitch. But again, like, this dude is operating, assuming how the other person would take it. But it's like, the story isn't saying, you need to do this. You need to do push-ups. The push-ups are the way to do it. It's just saying this is how this character does it. If the party member doesn't accept it, they don't have to accept the apology. But they obviously will, because guess what? They're party members. Like,
What this
But
situation
yeah,
is...
this shows how DSP would accept apologies. If you apologize to him and it's not in a way he wants, he will tell you, I don't care about that. Apologize. Because this dude is such a little bitch. He's such a little baby. And this is the dude that like gets off to apologies. This dude said in his Discord, the whole point is so that people can beg to be unbanned and apologize. This dude has an apology fetish, and he's criticizing this other person's way of apologizing.
trying to do is saying no kind of apology is good enough. You have to do some kind of a personal self-sacrifice.
This dude, it's unreal. It is unreal. This dude is taking this scene so literally. For just off the bat, he's saying it so literally. Secondly, this dude, it always tells us about sacrifice. You need a sacrifice to do this and that, blah, blah, blah. Tells us every chance he can about how we need to sacrifice and this and that. But then this dude says, guys, it's fucked up to do that when you misgender someone. Like, dude, it's up to the person who you offend to accept your apology and all this other stuff. And if you're genuine, you should, act however. Like, if you apologize to someone, you're genuinely sorry, and they don't accept it, then you should also understand, well, maybe they get these apologies all the time, and the only way that you can move on is just to call them by the pronoun that they prefer in this situation. Like, if you genuinely apologize to someone, then it should not matter like, if the person doesn't accept it or not, because if you're genuine about it, you will go on and make sure you don't do that thing again, and you'll try to be better and all this other stuff and improve and all this other time. The effort can be seen. Like, the person will eventually see that, oh, this person's actually trying. Like, you may see the wrong pronoun, then say the right pronoun right after, like, and eventually you're gonna say the right pronoun, for example. Like, it's just the effort. Like, this dude has never been in a situation where he had to apologize, and it shows. When he has to apologize, he'll just ghost. He'll ghost you, because this dude sees apologies as being weak and being super duper wrongdoing, and he doesn't see using the wrong pronoun as a major issue. But like, it only becomes a major issue when the person who says the wrong pronoun just continues to say the wrong pronoun despite being corrected. Like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole fucking thing, man.
In a situation where you misgender someone. But the writers are so fucking dumb. They don't understand that what they're actually saying is you don't go the actual step to even talk to the person and say, hey, I'm sorry. Here's in my opinion, this is my opinion, here's how this should have went. She uses the wrong pronoun. She turns to the person and says, oh crap, I'm sorry. What can I do to make it up to you? And if the person says, nah, it's fine, then that's fine. But if the person's like, well, it would be nice if you could do this or this, and then you want to do that, then you do it.
That is so lame, though. Like, it kind of like, man, I'm glad this dude is not working on stories at all. Like, man, so you misgender someone and then you basically have to be their slave or like a servant for like however long to make it up to them. When it's just like, hey, just take the initiative and apologize, and then like go from there. Like, dude, okay, and honestly, that's what happened. He makes the wrong deal, the wrong mistake. She apologized by doing a barf, explains what it is so the person understands what it is, and then they can still say, oh, that's not good enough, or that's good enough, whatever. It's the same difference. It's just that they did it more in like blatant way, and DSP just has to disagree with it. Like, come on, man. Come on now,
at least you're putting the power into the hand of the person that you've insulted.
But that's
right?
That's what that did, though. She did that to apologize. The person who was offended could easily say, I don't accept that apology. Like, come on, man. Come on now,
or
dog.
You've done wrong. They can determine what the appropriate action is to make the situation right. What Isabella did in this situation, she just assumed the best thing to do is what she thinks is the best thing to do, which is the whole point of the scene, is to say, don't do that. You have to go the extra mile to make sure the person is okay. But you didn't do that. You just assumed they wanted you to do push-ups.
But the extra mile in the scene, it was her doing the push-ups, then explaining it so it's understood why she was doing the push-ups. Again, like I've said this 1,000 times, if it wasn't a good enough apology, the person could always say that's not good enough. You could say it's awkward, sure, but that's any apology situation.
Even the writing is wrong. The writing that they have in this scene is fucking incorrect.
Whatever.
Right? That's true too. Super Bonchan says, and it also shows kind of ironically in this situation that it's not a big deal because it's just 10 push-ups, which is nothing. That's the way you make up for it. That shouldn't be a big deal.
But that's like the same thing by saying, I'm sorry, bro. Like, it's the same thing there. It's just she explained it, and then again, if it's not genuine, that's up to the person who's getting it to decide. Like, that's not how interactions work.
Right? Yet, they're trying to say that it should be a big deal. So basically, everything here is misdone. So even in a scene where they specifically tried to do this in a way that they felt was right, and that maybe to a lay person who doesn't understand the whole deal with non-binary people and the pronouns issue, they're trying to do it in a way that, let's introduce this to a new group of gamers. Maybe now they'll get it. They did a fucking awful job. They completely misexplained it. Because now people will think, well, I could just fucking blow it off in any way I want, and that's fine. As long as it's...
Again, this dude takes the scene literally. Like, it's literally telling you, this is how you apologize, by doing push-ups. Like, dude, come on. Like, it even spells it out. Well, some people say, I'm sorry and get it over with. And some people say they go so overboard with saying how sorry they are that it becomes other people's problems. Like, it's just telling you, hey, just be genuine about your apology. Like, as long as you're genuine about it, like, that, it goes the extra mile. Like, it doesn't say, you have to do 10 push-ups exactly. You have to do an action to do this. It's just saying, hey, just don't say it just to get it over with. Like, the extra mile or the show that you're genuine is just by correcting and moving forward by just calling the person by their proper gender or proper pronoun that they prefer, whatever. Like, this isn't really like rocket science.
It's okay with me. I think 10 push-ups is good, so that's what I'm gonna do, right? No, in my opinion, is
Like,
hey,
he assumes that this just takes the power away from the person who's like the victim, but the victim doesn't have to accept any apology. Like, this person says, oh, this is what we do in our clan. This person can easily say, well, I'm not part of your clan, so why are you doing this? Like, who cares? Like, apologize to me, like, meaningful. Or they could say, well, in my culture, this is how you apologize, whatever. They could say that right after. But again, it's up to the two people here. But they clearly saw, okay, she's doing the push-ups and she says she's genuine. I'll take her at her word. We fought so long that obviously she means it, this and that, whatever. That's all this is. It is ridiculous how little this dude can like look at the scene and kind of understand it. It's so sad.
You offended someone, you didn't even realize you were offending them. You say, oh, I'm sorry I offended you. I swear I didn't mean to. How do I make it up to you? And if they say, don't worry about it, then that's no big deal. If they say, well, you could do this or that, then listen to them and judge if you actually want to make up for it or not.
Then
but don't put it on you.
So, oh my god, this dude is such a slimy little individual. Slimy individual. Listen to this.
And if they say, don't worry about it, then that's no big deal. If they say, well, you could do this or that, then.
So, you initially want to apologize to make up for the mistake that you did, and they explain to you what they want because they assume they're under the assumption you want to apologize, and then you can determine if you want to make up for it or not. DSP, if you're a friend with someone and you wrong them, then when you want to make up for the mistake, no matter what. What? Then what's this? Then you can decide if you want to or not. I mean, you could say it's kind of like a nitpick in this, but it's a very like peculiar thing to say when the whole thing is talking about how to properly apologize.
And listen to them and judge if you actually want to make up for it or not. But don't put it on you. Oh, I just assume this is the right way to do it, and then you do it, or else you miss the point of the scene. Right? So even the fucking writers don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're complete idiots. All right?
But like a lot of media have like characters from different like societies.
But then on top of all of this.
Okay.
The thing that really gets me about the scene.
Another nonsense claim, by the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not aware, you know what
this is so dumb. This is like this dude is so fucking
dimensional rifts are opening. The veil is opening. 2 elven gods or something are coming through with armies of forces to take over reality and kill everything and control everything. That's the plot of the game. You're the Veiled Guard. You're the last force to stop the invasion of reality from creatures from the Veil. What are you busy doing in the game? Sitting around a campfire singing Kumbaya, talking
Dude. There's obviously gonna be downtime. It would just be monotonous to just have constant action from start to finish. Of course there's gonna be a scene where it's like, okay, we gotta spend the night in this situation and this and that. They just have like one-on-ones like this, I guess, whatever the fuck. That has been in any story you can find. There's downtime in Persona, there's downtime in Star Wars, there's downtime in Metaphor, I believe. I'm not that far in that game, so I can't really say. But there's always been downtime in any story because it makes sense to have some time where characters can just kind of be fleshed out more. That's what the scene is for. And this dude's like, I'm a movie buff and I understand stories, but it's like, you know, you need some moment of like some moment to breathe to really understand the characters more. You can't really have that if they're just constantly fighting.
About people who are non-binary and their pronouns and how to properly make up for them if you offend them. By the way, at this very moment, there's probably demons at the door slaughtering thousands of people and are going to burst in at any moment to kill all of you.
But I mean, it's a war, I guess, in Dragon Age. Of course, they're killing, I guess. But you know, they also have to rest and like sleep and eat and all this other stuff because you know they're not like constantly moving. You know? Oh my god!
But you have time for this conversation.
This dude is so
what the
dumb.
fuck is going on?
Like,
do you see the point?
Come on.
Dragon Age is supposed to be dark fantasy.
Like, dude, that's like saying, like, you watch the Guilty Gear Strive story mode, and there's, like, a scene where, like, Kai and Jacko are, like, talking, and they're talking about, like, what Jacko wants to do, because Jacko is, like, you know, going through external, oh my god, I can't fucking talk. Exterior, oh my god, a fucking Christ, Jesus Christ, I don't fucking, I'm, like, butchering words. But like she's just going through shit, okay? She's going through some shit, and Kai just talks about like, oh, like you know, just nonsense, you know, whatever. They're just having like a fucking discussion, and you're just seeing it like, oh, the White House is invaded and Guilty Gear Strive, and like Happy Chaos is doing shit, and they're just sitting there just talking, huh? But it's like, yeah, of course they're gonna have like moments like that to talk because that's like, you know, you need some moment to like see what's going on. Oh my god.
Dark fantasy. That's the point of the whole universe. It's always been that way, right?
Right?
It's adult-oriented, it's gory, it's crass, there's sexual content, there's brutal content. All of that's always been in Dragon Age, has been a part of it, right? Yes, there have been silly scenes. We got your campfire, and they have relationship dialogue and stuff like that. I get that, all right?
So back then, it was okay for them to have romantic stuff at campfire, but having a scene where they're talking about apologizing, that's a bridge too far. Oh man, dude, this dude's brain's cooked.
But now you've pushed it to the point of absurdity. Do you really think that in a situation, it's a life or death struggle, the universe is at stake, people care about what they're fucking called? Guess what? I wouldn't call if you called me shit stain. Why would I care? Let's go kill the demons.
But this is like a downtime period, and it's like, man, this is like so dumb. You know, like, man, why develop these characters? Man, what stupid storytelling.
But no, they actually go out of their way.
Again, there's like better things to
criticize.
Like, I've never seen someone like try so hard to hate this game. Like, man, come on.
Plot to interject these topics. This is piss poor writing at its worst. You can't get any worse than that. To completely take me out of the situation of fantasy, to put a real life issue now in my face, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, how many people do you think will be buying Dragon Age Veilguard to think about real life issues?
Like,
it's
really, really lame, man. Like, there's all these stories about, like, love triangles, relationship issues, but that's okay. Which, I mean, and those are all real world issues if you compare it to this, right? Same thing. But this is a bridge too far. All right.
It's a game about monsters and magic and different mythical races. I don't care about real life. This would be like, you're in the game. And
but she's telling you Barb, which is something in her clan that's like part of world building and like development. Like, oh, her clan does this. That's how they apologize. Oh, okay. But whatever. Okay.
At the campfire to talk about if they're going to vote for Trump or Kamala.
Where did this happen? Dude, all that happened was they were talking about someone in the past or whatever the fuck in the story. Used the wrong pronouns. She apologized. Where the fuck is the real world discussion where they're talking about Trump or Kamala? Where was that? You know, if I get this game on sale and I play the story, I better fucking hear that. I better hear the Isabella say, guys, we need a vote right now and vote hard. I better hear her say that, and she better talk about fucking Israel and Palestine and talk about inflation. I better hear that. She better say, guys, gas prices are too fucking high. Let's go. I want Isabella to say that. Then I would agree with Phil. But if she doesn't, then this is bullshit.
The fuck is that? Why is that in my game? That I'm supposed to be escaping reality to play a fantasy video game.
Oh,
This is
man.
not a hyper-realistic game that should have realistic topics. This should be I'm escaping all of that drama.
But what if they use realistic like topics to make the world grittier and more like believable? Like, you realize sometimes people do that because they are inspired by real events to make a story and all this other stuff. Like, you know, a lot of stuff comes from reality a lot of the times. But okay, man.
To
Sure.
play a fun game and suspend my disbelief, you shouldn't be shoving the real world shit down my throat.
Man,
when I play-
I honestly feel if Idiocracy came out today, that movie would be slammed for these kind of like reasons. See, it's real world. They're shoving real life politics. And that kind of, and because I bring up Idiocracy because it's been a running joke in 2016. Guys, Idiocracy is a documentary. And there you go. Like it kind of got retroactively like slammed for that in a way, but if that movie was new today, everyone would say it's woke piece of shit. Even though this like movie is making fun of just America itself, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Come on, dog.
Life is strange.
Or just humanity.
And the main character is gay. You know, Max, she has relationships with girls. Then you expect it. And you're dumb if you play Life is Strange and you sit there and you complain.
But why do gay characters have to be in only games that you expect them? Why can't they be in other games? Like, why can't they be in Dragon Age? Why can't they be like? That's what like you go to the Persona fandom and you'll eventually stumble upon people saying, why can't we have like gay romances in Persona? We can do all this stuff. We can date a teacher, but we can't have gay romances or whatever the fuck. You know, all this stuff like it's. Come on. Like, hello?
About themes like that.
Again, why does DSP want only approved games that have gay people, not any other game? Like, it's just a weak argument, I guess. Whatever.
But if I'm playing fucking Dragon Age, Veilguard, and all of a sudden there's a scene.
All this is just him trying to placate both people who are staunchly against this, and then people who are all like, this isn't that bad, guys, you know, shut up, whatever. So he's trying to say this kind of criticism and not really understand anything, to have both say, you make a good point, Phil. Yeah, this is kind of forced. But it's like not real logical criticisms. Again, I've probably made better criticism about this scene than he has, and it took me less time.
Like this, it's like, what the fuck am I
What
playing?
the fuck?
And on top of all of that, ladies and gentlemen, to push the narrative, they ruined the character. Isabella is a character who's
she would
already
never
known
be
from
friendly.
the franchise. She has an established character, an established way she acts and talks.
Yeah, she can never
They
change.
changed the character to have a scene to push this narrative. Ladies and gentlemen, they've pulled a Neil Druckmann. This is exactly what happened.
Oh god, the Neil Druckmann argument. Oh wait, do I have soundboard? I almost forgot. Shit. I don't. I can fix that. Where's? Yes. Okay, there we go.
He'll never change.
Happened in The Last of Us 2. In The Last of Us 2, there were established characters such as Joel and Ellie who acted.
This game is gonna be this year's fucking Last of Us 2. Imagine if this one's Game of the Year. I hope it does. I honestly hope it does. Imagine it wins Game of the Year. Oh man, that's gonna be fucking exciting.
A certain way. But they rewrote their characters so that they could have a weird narrative. Allow me to explain. In The Last of Us 1, Joel is the ultimate survivor. He trusts no one. He's willing to do whatever it takes to survive, including killing. Right?
Right?
really the ultimate survivalist.
Ultimate survivalist.
And then all of a sudden he becomes a dad figure to Ellie, and things change. In The Last of Us 2,
So you don't think that maybe he has gotten softer after like becoming a dad? Maybe like he realizes that he can't just keep on killing and all this stuff, and maybe he should be more open-minded to strangers. But again, the other big thing in Last of Us 2, and it's really funny, DSP just did not like put two and two together on this. Look at the camp that they live in Last of Us 2. You realize very quickly, oh, they're very privileged in this camp because they have huge fortified walls. They have electricity. These are things that are extremely luxurious in that like post-apocalyptic world. They have fucking electricity, dude. And they can watch movies and all this stuff. This is stuff that they did that DSP just didn't think about, didn't care. Oh, they watch movies, okay, man. But then they get high and and two girls kiss. This never happened, dude. What the fuck? And it's like, dude, like they live in like a very privileged camp. Of course, they're gonna start having romance. Of course, they're gonna start doing this. Like, how do you think there's all these families in post-apocalyptic world? Like, are women just cattle? I mean, in some stories, they are seen as that because, civilization breaks down. But a lot of other places don't have that a lot of the time, obviously. Like, this dude just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. Come on.
He's forgotten all of his survival tactics, and within the first few hours of the game,
and
he's
also,
dead.
in Last of Us 2, Joel is, like, older. He's old. And again, he lives in a fucking, like, sheltered camp. He's not going around place to place. Like, if he was journeying across the country, then he probably would be not trusting of other people. But he's at a camp, and he's like, well, I guess we can accept some people and we can, like, figure it out, whatever. He didn't know that these people were gonna kill him, because these people were planning to kill him. Like, and the other thing, which is, like, hilarious, sometimes the best of, like, survivalists can die to stupid shit. Like, man, sometimes you don't have to be a professional, and you'll just die doing something you love or you're good at or whatever, right? It just shit happens. But this dude just it doesn't click with him. They need a trans to spell it out to them. That's what it is. You can't just like they should just have a sign that says like luxurious sheltered place, or Ellie should have been, oh man, we're so sheltered and like privileged to live here. We don't have to worry about anything, no strangers, not a lot of clickers. It's like whatever. Like they need to like beat you in the head with it for you to like get, oh, they're in a privileged situation.
Because he's a complete fucking moron. He trusts people for no reason and gets killed. Completely out of character, makes no sense, but it fits the narrative. In The Last of Us 1, Ellie is a character who has been growing up.
Oh my god, dude.
She
was a teenager in Last of Us 1 or so. Of course he's gonna say, wow, romance is stupid. Like, of course, because she was also going through, by the way, a loved one who died. So she's probably not coping the best at that point. And then Last of Us 2, she's older, years past, she's in a sheltered place, whatever, that has a lot of, like, privileges. Oh, how dare she just fall in love? DSP, you're so stupid. He plays, like, Last of Us 2 is not that hard to fucking understand. It's not a hard plot at all.
World. There's no time to grow up as a silly girl worrying about makeup or boys. In fact, in The Last of Us 1, there's a scene where she's reading a diary of a girl pre-apocalypse. And she reads it out to Joel and says, how were girls ever like this? Right? She doesn't know what it's like to be like that, nor will she ever.
But guess what? She lived in a shelter that was, like, well fortified with a lot of privileges. Guess what? She has a lot of time to understand now, stupid.
Because she's not allowed the freedom of a...
And you know what? Where was this, right? You watched the Last of Us 1 DLC, where they go to a fucking arcade. They go to an arcade. That's the whole story. Was he like, guys, there's zombies. Why are they going to an arcade? This dude is so dense.
safe world to grow up and live that kind of experience. She won't know what makeup is. She won't know what it's like to like boys and giggle about it and have gossip and shit like that, right?
Well, she likes girls.
In The Last of Us 2,
Yeah.
she literally becomes the girl in the diary. She's out having relationships with girls.
Man.
She's ignoring all the rules of survival. She's in an underground
Because she was with someone she trusts, and they're just like clearing out clickers and like zombies, and they did, and then it's like, you know, like, come on.
growing like fucking
Oh my
greenhouse.
god! Wait, they were growing pot in the post-apocalypse. What the fuck? They could get high. Huh? Ignore all the scenes where people get drunk. Like, there's a scene in Last of Us 1 where Joel and this other guy from like Connecticut are sitting there and like they're talking about fucking motorcycles and they're drinking alcohol. Isn't that out of place? Guys, there's clickers. Why are you talking about motorcycles?
Smoking pot with this other girl, having sex with her. Meanwhile, Joel is dying.
Joel is dying.
But she's down there doing these.
Okay, how was she supposed to know that Joel is dying, right? Does she have a Joel radar? Does she have danger senses? Is she a Spider-Woman? Does she have Spidey senses? Guys, I'm sensing Joel is gonna die. I gotta go. Again, shit happens, man.
Frivolous things. They rewrote the character so that they
Man,
could push
this
a
dude is
narrative
so
that now the
stupid.
rest of The Last of Us 2 would be this revenge story. Okay? Literally, that's what Veilguard just did with Isabella. Forget the fact that she's brazen, crass, no nonsense, doesn't care about
she
who
would
she
never
offends,
change.
over the top. Oh, the moment that she says the wrong pronoun, she's got to be down on her hands and knees.
Down on her hands and knees. Dude, she made the wrong pronoun to a person I'm assuming in the scene that they're like friends and party members. I'm assuming that, right? So of course she would want to apologize because she wants to remain friends with them and want to have good morale with them. Like, again, if you want to apologize, when you want to apologize, and if she feels comfortable by doing that because she thinks it's genuine, she does it, she explains it to the person, and that person can easily say, no, this is not good enough, and all this other stuff. This is getting worked up over nothing. Nothing.
Doing push-ups to apologize for it. That's not the character. Sorry, that's not the fucking character.
Yeah,
you
she never
rewrote the
changed.
character for your own purposes to push a narrative that has nothing to do with the
Dude,
fucking.
What if people said that about Kratos, right? Kratos was never like this. I played God of War 2018. He would never do this. He is like calm and like, I don't want to do violence anymore. In God of War 3, he was like ripping God's heads off. That's not the character. They rewrote him. But no, DSP like clapped and said, wow, this is like very cool. Like, yeah, a character's gonna change over time, man. It just happens. What if like she changed and realized I should apologize for my party members if I do anything wrong?
Game at all. And that's completely 100%.
And you can also just assume she didn't like do anything wrong in these previous games that didn't like offend them. But this, she understood, this is gonna like offend them, and I don't want them to be mad, and I really want to apologize and make it up to them, and then and this and that. Again, these are like normal thoughts people can have that these people will not understand.
Focused and intentional. This is not what happened by chance. This is, they had focus groups, they had writing teams,
Okay.
scheming this kind of shit.
Scheming.
Let's do it. Let's be part of the talk. That our game will have these dialogues and thoughts in it.
Dude,
and we'll get
you
the
know,
big
like that-
controversial talk.
Again, no. The one thing I didn't know about this scene as well because it was on social media. But guess why? Guess the kind of people who are bringing it up? People who didn't like the game and said this game is stupid and DEI and woke and this and that. Those are the people that brought it up. BioWare didn't like say, guys, look at we did it. This scene, we did it. People who would probably like that scene didn't go and say, guys, this scene, perfect, chef's kiss, flawless. Like, I didn't see that at all. And even people who are playing the game and liking the game are not, like, praising that scene. And this dude is acting as if, like, BioWare is gonna die on the hill of that specific scene.
Walk around it, and hopefully we'll sell more copies. Do you want to know what Veilguard wants to be? The next Last of Us 2. You remember what happened during The Last of Us 2?
Oh my
Allow me
God.
to remind you. Neil Druckmann.
By the way, listen to what he said and keep in mind, that when he hits the goal, when he crushes the goal, he crushes the trolls.
The head of the studio literally went out there and said, if you buy The Last of Us 2, you're supporting these themes. If you don't like The Last of Us 2, you're a bigot.
Guess what? He did a whole bit about eating the Krabby Patty. Like, the point of him eating the eating goal is to make a joke that he could get paid to eat a burger and the trolls will seethe. That is cool and fun and interactive. But Neil saying, let's piss off the bigots, that's fucked up, man. And again, you know, Neil Druckmann was addressing the bigots. Are you a bigot, Phil? Is that why you're getting mad?
He said that. He said every time you buy this game, you're basically hurting the trolls who don't like the themes we're trying to push.
So Neil is not allowed to hurt the trolls, but DSP can crush the trolls. Huh? Man, it's like DSP is just mad for being mad.
So you had an entire feel-good movement, right? A feel-good movement of people saying, I'm going to buy Last of Us 2 just to get to strike against the bigots.
Did
Instead
that
of
even
saying,
happen?
I'm going to buy The Last of Us 2 because it's a good game.
And that's not what he said either. He fucked it up again. He said vote. Vote for the game to stick it to the bigots. He didn't say buy. So slander side Phil strikes again.
Which, by the way, it is. The Last of Us 2 has great graphics,
DSP gave it a 5 out of 10, by the way. Great game.
sneaky mechanics that are improved from the first game. Great.
By DSP's own admission, 5 out of 10 is not a good game. If he freaks out over games getting a 7 out of 10, 5 out of 10 isn't good. I'm sorry. He makes a big deal when a reviewer gives a game a 7 out of 10 as if it's an awful score. But 5 out of 10 means it's a good game. Jesus, DSP.
Level design. Like, there's a million things good about Last of Us 2. Some of the best accessibility of any video game ever. But does anyone ever talk about that? No. All anyone talks about with The Last of Us 2 are the liberal themes.
They did talk about the accessibility.
Made the game about.
Dude, the game got awarded for it. No one talks about the accessibility? Okay, buddy, sure.
And it became a big sales success because of it. So that is why these themes are in Dragon Age Veilguard. Make no mistake about it. It's not because they think it improves the game or this is a chance to teach a lesson. This is because they want people to be talking about the controversy around the game and they want to be another part of that. They want this to be the next, oh, I bought Veilguard because I heard there's a trans character in it, there's a non-binary character in it, and there's representation in it.
That's not a fucking... Oh my god, how dare people get excited when media has a character that, like, represents them or that they can relate to or whatever, you know, like, oh my god, a game that allows you to create a character. Oh my god, the game has an option for transgender characters that you create. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Like, dude, it's just like having like a character in a game. It's like, yeah, they have these characters that are trans. Like, I understand the argument about token characters and all this other stuff, but at the same time, you can't just like bark at token character, and just like at some point there's gonna have to be a story where it's gonna have a trans character in it, and that's just gonna be how it is. Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
Reason to buy the game. You buy the game because it's fun, because it's got a good story, it's got good graphics, good gameplay mechanics. Not because they wedged in a social aspect, a social hot topic, right? It's lame, it's cheap, it's lowbrow. Quite frankly, it's fucking embarrassing, and it's actually insulting. If you are someone who thinks that this is an important issue, you should be insulted, because that's not what the game is about. They shoehorned it in to try to...
But there's not going to be a story that the whole plot is the main character misgendered the villain, and then they have to apologize to the villain or whatever the fuck. Like... It's a 1-minute clip you watched, by the way. It was 1 minute. And all it was a dude apologizing and expressing their apology. And the dude saying, oh, okay. That's it. That's the scene. And he's acting as if it's like some grandiose like thing that detracts the whole plot. Man, that is really like I play Persona 3 and then I get offended that there's romance options in the game. I can't believe Mitsuru is like, I could date Mitsuru. That's so fucking stupid. The end of the world is coming. Nyx is coming, and we're talking about going and eating hamburgers? Wow, stupid.
To get you to buy the game. They think you're dumb. That's why it's in Dragon Age Veilguard. Not because they're trying to say, oh, we're going to represent properly or whatever. Even look at the scene. They did it wrong. The scene says, disregard the thoughts of the person that you insulted
They didn't,
and just
though.
do 10 push-ups.
Because the person who the person asked, what are you doing? And then the person explained it. It was like, I apologize, accept it. And like, whatever, okay.
Thing to do. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm sorry I offended you, kid. It's something I can do to help you or to make up for it because I really goofed. Which is like the common sense thing to do, right? But no, that's not good enough, right? So even the way they did it was wrong.
But they want to show how Isabella's clan, or whatever the fuck, apologizes. That was the scene. She apologized in her, like, clan. It's to, like, expand the world, dude.
Right? So this is fucked up, and this is something that I can learn to see more and more game studios do.
I hope you do.
Unless people call it out.
I'm gonna say it.
Is this scene a deal breaker for me? No.
I hope we see it more.
And especially now that I know that the game is going to have dumb scenes like this, right? I feel like you could just kind of like say, well, you know what they were going for. Pretty lame. And, you know, it is what it is.
So this is like the monkey paw of him playing Dragon Age Veilguard. He's gonna go in just wanting to hate it, like, oh my god, he did this, oh my god, and like just be nonsense about it. So there's that. It's something.
Over the top nonsense. But hey, they went for whoever these management are, a bunch of idiots. But the truth is, this makes me feel worried about this studio. Like BioWare now, they made a big announcement yesterday on social media. We are fully 100% committed. We're now working on Mass Effect 5. That's our next focus. Do you think I'm excited? Right? Like, I see this clip, and I'm like, so you know that when you play these games...
people are already dogging on BioWare, honestly, after Mass Effect Andromeda. So, I mean, like... At this point, I think the ship sailed that they make quality games. And then they also work with Ubisoft, and Ubisoft is... no, it's EA. Oh my god. And that's not even any better. EA and Ubisoft are two companies I try to avoid the best I can.
Always going to have these out of place, interjected social issues, immersion breaking, pushing the narrative. Buy our game.
That animation with the trick is immersion breaking.
It's not.
Get rid of it.
Writing. It's not proving a point. It's not helping. Do you really think having that scene in the game is going to help anyone who is non-binary?
Oh my god!
Is that
man.
Wow?
Like
that really helped them, right? No,
it's not about helping them.
That's all that clip is.
It's just like it's a scene. It's just
look
a
at
scene.
Us. We put it in the game. Now give us credit.
And like
Send
look
us
at
all the feel-good vibe buys like last.
Oh my god, dude!
It's lame. It's fucking lame.
Sure.
If the game was all about that, if it was a main theme of the game,
why does it have to be a main theme?
Life is Strange.
It doesn't have to be the main theme. It's just one little mistake that happened in conversation, and then they apologized, and that was it. They moved on. It seems people like DSP are still stuck on it, even though the game and the characters moved on from that scene right after it.
Here's a theme of the game. The main character is, gay. There's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I have no issue with it.
But why do they have to be in that game exclusively? Like, this dude had such a weird reaction to Baldur's Gate 3 having gay romance. He got stuck with a gay romance, and he was like, what? Huh? And it was very awkward. And it's like, I thought you're okay with this, man.
Part of the writing of the game. It's done naturally. It's fun. That's done well. I applaud that. But when you wedge it the fuck in like that, it looks like shit. It looks like you don't care. You're botching. You're dropping the ball. You're embarrassing yourself and everyone around you.
Yeah, these people would know about
wants
that.
to actually make people feel welcome.
I sometimes wish these people would go through what like these people go through, like at least once, and then he can come back and tell me all about it.
And you're doing it for profits, and that's the worst reason to do it. So looking at that scene, I'm not upset that it's in the game. I'm upset that it's done so fucking poorly. They absolutely could have done a better job than that. And it's pretty disgraceful because
this is just as disingenuous and performative. Again, he's just saying this. Like all this complaint is the reason why it's so like brain dead nonsensical is that he's just trying to please two people: the people who like that kind of thing and people who don't. And that's what he's trying to placate. So he's not called one or the other. And it's like it's kind of worse because at least the people who at Bio who made that scene can argue that they were genuine about that scene and they thought it was fine or whatever. They can die with that scene in their game. DSP just can't find a leg to stand on. He can't stand up for anything he says.
What's going to happen
This
is that you're going to see more and more of this. If this gets traction and people see it and say, "Oh wow, look, more game devs might try to wedge in more shit."
Good.
You really want every game to be like, well, you should be this leaning politically and this leaning. You should care about this social issue or this social issue.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, all I want to do is stomp on fucking Goombas.
There's like so many like stories that kind of give you thoughts on like political shit. Whatever.
That's it. I want to shoot the enemy. I want to stomp the enemy. I want to solve the puzzle. I want to open the chest.
But like, what if they want like the enemy to be more complex than like a lot of people complain in some stories that, oh, the villain is just a cardboard cutout, they're just evil for the sake of it. Like some stuff is like it can get away with it. Like again, a lot of my favorite Zelda games, they personified Ganondorf, like Wind Waker and Tears of the Kingdom. Meanwhile, like I was kind of disappointed with Breath of the Wild, because Ganon was just an evil entity, and it's like okay, like this isn't really cool. Wow. But then you have like Ganondorf in like that dialogue in the other previous games that had a motivation for wanting to take the Triforce and all this other shit. Like that's far more interesting than, hey, this guy is evil, let's kill him.
I want to save the princess or prince. Whatever is your fucking spin today, I don't care. Just leave me alone and let me play my fucking video games. Stop ruining them with your agendas and your bullshit because you're greedy.
This dude, by the way, likes Nier and Nier Replicant and Nier Automata, but those games have a lot of stuff that you can like kind of think about in real world application. Correct? Whatever. Okay.
Want to make money on it because that's all it is. You don't care about what you're trying to do. You just want to make an extra dollar.
Wow.
And I'm tired of your shit.
You're telling me a company may do this to get more money? Wow, I've never heard a cynical take like that before. And sure, you can argue that that's the case, but at the same time, a lot of people in the creative industry also do have to argue and fight with executives to get something done sometimes. Like, you know, that's how it is. That's how it is, man. It's not easy to make something with a company behind it that puts so much money that it can't fail. It's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard out there for creatives.
Okay. So there you go.
Okay,
that's
there
what
you
I have
go.
to say about that. I'm sure that'll be an interesting discussion for later. We covered it now.
Kirby's
does
laughing.
that kill Veilguard for me? I mean, no, it doesn't at all. But at the same time, is it any good? Like, I haven't heard much good talk about Veilguard.
I saw someone play
Most people,
it.
at the best thing I've
fine.
heard is the story sucks at the beginning, but if you stick with it for dozens of hours, it actually gets good around the middle. The combat.
Hey, guess what? That's the thing he said about Days Gone, and he loved that game.
They like it, others they don't. So
Well,
if you
people
like
have
the combat
opinions?
and you're willing
Whoa.
to tough through dozens of hours of bad writing, you can get to a good game. Do I really want to fucking do that?
Why is there a square?
Really? I don't
Really?
know.
I don't know,
man.
man.
It confuses me. Like,
Why
do I
is there
really
a
want to do that?
squirrel
I don't know if I want to do
in
that.
this? It's
right?
like doing Thanksgiving, so it's just.
I don't know, man.
Is the squirrel a
All right.
Thanksgiving
Well,
thing?
anyway, we got a
I
few
don't
more
know.
shout outs to do, and then we'll probably do a little bit of Q&A to end the show today, and we'll go from there. Okay?
All right, we're done with this. That's where we're gonna end it. I know he's doing a crazy podcast today because he's gonna be talking about the election. Look, I have thoughts on it, and I'm not a Trumper, so you can imagine my disappointment. But it is what it is. What can you do? Like that. There you go. It's just a it is what it is, and it is what it is. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. That's the most political I'm going to get today. I won't get any more political than that. And if you ask, I'm going to keep using this. And I'm going to find annoying things because it has like, this is on the mid-tone. There's a low tone, there's a high tone. You don't want to know what the high tone sounds like. I'm telling you right now, the high tone is bad. But anyways, as I said, this is it for the video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
I want you to speak the
Yeah,
truth.
speak the truth.
What a sick joke.
What a sick joke. It's all bullshit.
This whole thing.
This
all
whole
of this.
thing, all of this, Don't be fake. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Time to skedaddle
Time to
on
skedaddle
out
out
of
of here. Bye bye, everyone. Have a good week.